Cages or wings, which do you prefer? Ask the birds. Fear or love, baby, don't say the answer. Actions speak louder than cages or wings, which do you prefer? Ask the birds. Fear or love, baby, don't say the answer. Actions speak louder than they speak louder than actions speak louder than.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jonathan Silverstein, the Artistic Director of Keene Company. We're an off-Broadway company dedicated to creating theater that champions identification and connection through stories about the decisive moments that change us. I'm so pleased you've joined us for tonight's After Hours, our weekly show where we chat with luminaries of the theater world. Tonight is our special Valentine's Day edition, in which we'll visit with two couples that met working on Keene shows. I'd like to start tonight's event with a land acknowledgement. We do this to recognize the long history of the territory where we live and work and its significance for the Indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live here, and to demonstrate our commitment to addressing the legacy of colonialism in our work and practices. I am speaking to you today from Brooklyn, which is the traditional land of the Lenape people. Since our activities tonight are shared digitally to the internet, we'd also like to acknowledge and consider the legacy of colonialization embedded within the technologies, structures, and ways of thinking we use every day. We are using equipment and high-speed internet not available in many Indigenous communities. Even the technologies that are central to much of the art we make leave significant carbon footprints, contributing to changing climates that disproportionately affect Indigenous peoples worldwide. We invite you to join us in acknowledging this, as well as our shared responsibility to make good use of this time and for each of us to consider our roles in reconciliation, decolonization, and allyship. So let's welcome aboard my plucky Keene cohorts, Ashley DeGiorgi and Billy Reese.
I am so thrilled to have that moniker.
Lucky cohorts. I love it. That's actually the name of my ska band that I had in high school.
Oh. Yeah. And we're going to hear a little bit of it now.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that Keene cohorts is really the most important thing in alliteration.
Keenhorts? Can we make it one word? Can we be Keenhorts?
I think we can do it.
I don't love it.
Okay,
No,
all right.
We'll workshop.
No, this is why we have previews.
So are you all getting ready for Valentine's Day?
Yes.
100%.
I'm ready to do nothing but get an excuse to eat candy.
Right? I bought myself a heart full of Reese's peanut butter cups the other day at CVS, and feeling good about it.
Now, see, this may say a little bit about me, but I wait to get my Valentine's Day candy until the day after when it's cheaper.
I see. Well, you know.
We'll all be spending Valentine's together because next week, Monday, February 15th, is the premiere of Sorry Wrong Number, a benefit broadcast. More information on our website.
And so we will not have an after hours next week, but instead we will be listening to some suspense.
Mm-hmm.
I will be listening in with my CVS Valentine's Day chocolate. It'll be fabulous.
Perfect. I'm so excited for this very special Valentine's Day inspired evening, though.
Oh my goodness, me too. I would love, before we start, actually, do we want to talk just a little bit about like what the theme of tonight's evening is? Maybe Johnny, before, as you introduce our first pair of guests, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what we're doing here tonight.
Well, we thought we wanted to find some interesting way to celebrate Valentine's Day with you all. And Keene Company has had the honor the last 8 years bringing together 2 different couples who met on a Keen Company show. Now, personally, I take a lot of pride in this because, you know, they're shows I directed. I feel like I brought these people together and maybe kind of created an environment in which love could grow. Mm-hmm. You know, not that that's different from any other rehearsal, but, you know, there seemed to be a special frisson amongst these 2 amazing couples. So we are here to celebrate love, and specifically Keen love.
I love it.
I would say that you have blossomed countless friendships.
Oh, yes.
But definitely at least 2 couples.
Countless friendships, I would say. There's been a lot of them.
Well, let's bring out the first couple. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Theresa Flanagan and Cary Donaldson.
Woo, 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 woo!
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
Yeah.
You are our first ever couple here on After Hours. So, you know,
nice.
You're breaking new ground. All right, let me take a moment to tell the viewers at home a little bit about the 2 of you. So first of all, Cary and Tess met one another on the 2nd show I directed and produced as artistic director of Keen Company, a play called The Old Boy by A.R. Gurney. So actually, first off, when I did my first show at Keen, I actually had a stage manager all set from the previous season. So I had to find a stage manager for the first time. And I went to my good buddy, Jack Cummings, who runs Transport Group. And I was like, look, I need a good stage manager who knows what they're doing, but is really mellow and fun to hang out with. And he immediately, without skipping a beat, I think he even before I even got the sentence out, was like, Theresa Flanagan. So, of course, I met with Theresa. And of course, it had just so happened that, and I'm going to call you Tess because I call you Tess. Tess, you had worked with Josh Bradford, our production manager and lighting designer, I believe.
Yeah. I forget on what, but yeah.
I think so. So it was clear that Tess was perfect for us in personality, temperament, and also skill. So she was hired, all was great. Then we had to cast the show. And so we're casting, and who walks in? I had never met him, but his name is Cary Donaldson. And I'll tell you, first of all, he looked like a politician. And he was auditioning for the role of a politician's aide. And so he completely looked the part. He had a lot shorter hair back then. He just blew us away in the audition room, 100%. Sold every joke, which I knew was going to absolutely delight our playwright, A.R. Gurney. And by the way, he did. Cary did. Anyways, so we started the rehearsal process, and I'm going to let you tell the story later on about sort of meeting and all this good stuff. But since then, Cary and Tess have been, wonderful members of the Keen community, and have worked with us at various events and benefits. And Cary, actually, both of you have been so lovely because you've come into the office and actually met with young theater makers to sort of give them a little wisdom. And you've just been great members of the community. So happy to have you with us.
Happy to be here, as always. Monster's happy to be here as well.
Oh, hi, Monster.
Oh, hi, Monster.
Desperate to be on screen.
Maybe we can do a dog-themed episode at some point. Everyone brings their dog.
Yeah.
That's good TV.
Yeah.
Monster is welcome anytime.
Well,
yes.
Oh, sorry, John. I think it's to bring on the next guest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joanna Muhlfelder and Cary Schutzer.
Yeah.
I got the right
names.
Did I get the names right?
You nailed them both.
Great.
Woo! Good job, Billy. Welcome. I love these smiling faces. So let's see. About, was it 3 years later? Maybe even 4 years later, Keen was producing our first musical, Tick, Tick, Boom, by Jonathan Larson. Before that time, however, I was doing a play called Travels with My Aunt that we needed an assistant stage manager for. And through actually a stage manager I had worked with on a show at Bucks County Playhouse, who coincidentally was also the first stage manager ever at Keen Company back in 2001, she suggested Joanna. And her name's Leslie Leitner. Did I get that right, Joanna?
Lighter.
Joanna was a student of Leslie's, and she suggested Joanna. Joanna and I met, and instantly I was like, okay, perfect. Another person who gets the job done, but yet is sweet and mellow and wonderful. So Joanna started with Travels with My Aunt, and the poor thing had to, what I specifically remember is deal with that grave marker thing that came out of the wall.
It's troublesome.
But you never complained. Oh, and I remember you made that beautiful little area for yourself backstage.
I did.
So Joanna made herself known at Keen Company. So of course we hired her back during Tick, Tick, Boom, which was like our biggest musical we had ever done. We were in a big theater in the Acorn at Theater Row. And we were working with our musical director, Joey Chansey, who put together our band. And I walked into the first band rehearsal, and there was Cary, who played the bass and was so smiley and sweet. Like I was like, oh, band guys, they're so cool, man. I'm like a little worried. But Cary like instantly was like smiling and fun. And I think actually, Cary had several lines in Tick, Tick, Boom. The band played the sort of brainstorm workers at the day job. And I think you did a star turn, Cary.
I did my best. It was a very anxious 2 minutes on stage.
You never showed it.
I don't mean to interrupt your introduction, but I do remember the first time we ran through it in the theater. You didn't exactly make this expression, but you might as well have gone like that. But you were extremely kind and directed us as expertly as you could.
Oh, you mean the scene? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm told that I don't hide my expressions.
It was more, I was projecting that feeling. Oh boy, he must not be thrilled with these acting.
He probably was just worried you were upstaging the rest of the actors.
Totally, that's exactly it. I was just worried because I had so many I didn't realize the band was going to be so good. And therefore I had to do my whole song and dance. Anyways, welcome Joanna and Cary.
Thank you.
So we'd like to, I think I'm going to ask Cary and Tess first. Tell us a little bit about whatever you care to share about your showmance during your old boy.
Yeah, well, we just got married at the beginning of this year.
Last year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. It's been 13 months.
We got married on New Year's Eve, ringing in 2020.
2020 sort of didn't exist. So you got married yesterday and also a year ago.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I've said this in my vows, which was that, and I remember it very specifically because it had to have been a Thursday because it was payday. So it was probably our second day, or I guess our third day of rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I remember really like just explicitly falling in love with Tess, like instantly, because, you know, you're working off Broadway. And even though Keene is known for their larger than life paychecks, it's still, you know, you're struggling to make ends meet as, you know, artists, like in every art. And so I immediately get the paycheck and I go straight to the stage manager's desk to endorse the check, just so I like don't forget to do it and I can get it deposited on the way home. And as if I'm making out the check to her, because she's sitting there in front of her pens and pencils that she's provided as the stage manager, and I'm sitting there frantically scribbling. She leans over the desk and she goes, no, it's THERES. And
It's so easy.
yeah. And then basically from that moment on, I was like, I'm in love. And so it sort of developed from there, where it just sort of became a battle of wits. Like every day we were just trying to make each other laugh, essentially. And as you said earlier, like, you know, the way that you run these rooms is it's a very open feeling that you get. You feel that you can really bring in your own day and your own self and your own personality and every single day as part of the process. And so it's sort of like a team process. It feels that way. And she and I were just constantly trying to make each other laugh and one up each other.
Day one, signing contracts. And he like somehow in the process of signing the contracts, like lost the watermarked copy. And it was like, well, I just had it. I don't know. And it was just that two had gotten stuck together. But, you know, you're like, oh, yeah, this guy. But then it was very quickly. Then what I always say is like, this is the stage manager in me. Like, he was so helpful. You know, like he'd always try to reset his own props. And he was like, I got it. Oh. And was like, well, that's great.
She was easy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we get an I love this couple from Anne.
Oh, thanks, Anne.
Oh, Anne.
Now, I regret to inform you that we now do direct deposits, and I feel like now we're taking away so many love.
How many more couples you could have had?
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, let's not forget that first payday from the old boy. I realized the next day I had not signed any of the checks.
Oh,
because
no.
we had started with a different payroll company, and I didn't realize I had to sign them. So I remember going, hey, guys, what are those checks?
They're only your second show's artistic director. Still.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But I do recall there was definitely something between the two of you that the entire cast knew what was going on pretty darn soon.
We tried to be as professional. I mean, we were as professional.
You were.
Yeah, we had both been seeing other people when we met. So we both independently ended those relationships.
Tied up some loose ends.
But we didn't kiss or any until the show closed. We waited till closing night.
Yeah.
But no one believed us. The rest of the cast every day was like,
You guys are like, I hope the show doesn't extend. We need to shut down.
You did come back to that bar, like sort of like an hour later, and you're like, we kissed.
Yeah. What was the name of that bar?
Zuni.
Zuni.
Yeah.
It is no more.
R.I.P. Zuni.
Well, so Joanna and Cary, let's hear a little bit about some Tick Tick Boom love.
Did it start with any paperwork?
No, though I think you may have been the first person to hand me a piece of paper.
That counts.
So perhaps our first interaction was. So being in the band, I didn't join the process until like the day before tech, in terms of being in the theater and actually meeting everybody. So we must have met that day, like the day of our sound check, final dress. And
Joanna probably wasn't at all busy during tech of a huge musical.
I was gonna say this was like my first big PSM job in the city that you guys gave me the opportunity to have. So I have to say I was really focused.
Of course.
I've told Cary this. I clocked the band and was like, okay, like this is what we're dealing with. Great. But I wasn't really like, ooh. I seem to recall. I don't remember who. I won't name names. But from that band rehearsal, Johnny acknowledged earlier. I remember hearing some little like, oh, they're super cute. Oh, like I don't know who said it. I won't say, but and which band members they were referring to.
I think I actually came back from the band rehearsal and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute.
You did. I wasn't going to call you out, but you did. And I think some of the actors had gone to watch too, and they said the same thing. So anyway, I like clocked it, but anyway, so it was a busy day.
Sure.
Yeah, and my perspective was I noticed her, but I also noticed for a stage manager of this production in like the most stressful phase, she was remarkably calm and collected and nice. I mean, I didn't have too many interactions with stage managers prior to that, but she stood out as being exceptionally kind and sweet. And then we first bonded over Easy Mac backstage.
On a break.
Wow, I didn't know this story at all.
Joanna may have been getting picked on by somebody for eating Easy Mac, and I didn't exactly swoop in to defend her, but I really like Easy Mac too. That's cool that you're eating that.
Yeah, I remember that. And then, we kind of, tech happened. It was a stressful tech, lots of sound stuff. But then once we hit previews, I feel like we had some evenings afterwards where we would go out, and that's when we kind of had an opportunity to bond a little bit. And then
we connected pretty early.
Yeah.
We realized very quickly that we had a lot in common. We're from neighboring towns in New Jersey, so
cool.
we had a lot of similar experiences growing up, and we just had kind of a similar background.
And going off of what Cary and Tess said, we tried to be very professional the whole run. I won't say that nothing happened till we closed, but
it was a longer run. It was a longer run.
Exactly.
Sure. So we definitely tried to keep a professional.
But it was no secret to anybody.
I don't think so.
And I mean, like I said at the beginning, I didn't have as much of a rehearsal experience, but my experience doing the show was, I think at some point we counted that there were only 11 people who actually total who put the show on every night. And there really was this family vibe. So we felt very comfortable around each other, and we felt comfortable as a developing couple around.
Exactly what I was going to say. Everybody. It was a very supportive environment. I never felt like I had to hide it. And I think that says a lot about the Keene family, that we felt supported from the very beginning. So
The admin office never came and cracked the whip.
No, I think I remember telling, I think I told you.
Oh, you told me. You told me.
Yeah. So, and that was, 4+ years ago now. So, and we got engaged in August.
Congrats.
Wow. Okay. So these are serious relationships we've created. This makes me very happy.
Yenta.
So we have a couple questions for the couples to answer sort of together. Ashley, would you like to do the honors of the first question?
Sure. Well, we think our patrons are going to be curious about showmances. So here's a couple just getting to know you show questions, but they're theater specific. So first question, your favorite show that you guys have worked on. Have you worked on more than one show than what at King Company, or are we a special experience? That was a leading question.
We've done a few now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've done several shows, but I mean, there's just no doubt in my mind that The Old Boy is the most magical one. I guess I could have made a joke or something, but I mean, it's not even close.
But something that did carry over to the most recent one we did together was that during The Old Boy, we ended up having an actor, a cast member change.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, so we had a little bit of time where we were down an actor, which meant that sometimes I got to step up and act with Gary.
Yeah.
Remember, I was really good.
You made choices.
Yeah.
You were really good.
But the most recent thing, Cary understudied Straight White Men on Broadway, all through the three brothers, and I came in to sub on it, and then I did all the understudy rehearsals. So it was like we hadn't really acted together since The Old Boy.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But all those chops just came flying right back.
Joanna and Cary, have you guys worked together since?
Only on concerts and
With Joey, actually.
With Joey.
Sure.
And some transport group concerts too. But I don't think we've done a full production together.
Yeah.
So Tick Tick Boom
Yeah.
is the special one for sure.
And
Yeah.
it probably would be
Right.
the special one anyway. I mean, we both were big fans of Friends growing up, and to do the only revival of Tick Tick Boom off Broadway was a pretty big deal for both of us, just on its own, regardless of the fact that we met.
Yeah.
And personally, for me, being a young musician, kind of finding my voice and being on stage as Nick Blameyer, as Johnny is finding his voice, it was pretty meaningful at the time.
It's also definitely the biggest band we've ever had since or before. So it's exciting. Okay. Do you have any favorite day off rituals? What do you guys do when you're not, on a Monday, a Sunday afternoon?
Well, it's a little different now.
Of course.
Every day is Monday now.
I watch The Bachelor on Mondays when it's airing. Corey lets me have that time. That's my favorite thing.
Does he watch with you?
What? No, he does not.
Oh, okay.
The record show, he does not watch with me. He does his own thing.
Mhm.
But in the before times, I mean, I feel like some Mondays I relish just staying home and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Other Mondays you just have to get stuff done. So I do doctor's appointments or errands or things like that, or grabbing coffee with a friend who's also in the business who only has Mondays free. So those are the types of things that I would do. I feel like yours is similar, but you also.
Well, I have a day job as a teacher. So pre-pandemic, I didn't have many days off.
Sure.
But if I did, I watched TV or just chilled. I'm kind of a homebody, so pandemic has not been too hard in that sense for me.
Closer to your wheelhouse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's different now. I'm reading a lot more, practicing home stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. For couples who usually spend 0 nights together because someone is always working, it is kind of nice to probably have more time together.
Oh yeah, we're cooking a lot.
Yeah.
We're enjoying meals together.
Yeah.
Watching a whole movie, not like a quarter of a movie because I'm too.
Cary and Tess, do you guys have day off rituals?
Not really rituals, I guess.
Cooking.
Yeah, try to cook something for yourself. I play classical guitar, and I try to put in some hours to practice. Particularly during a show, like the first month or two of a show, you're learning lines and you're doing previews and you're getting rewrites, you're doing whatever, and so you're usually busy with that. But then once a show opens on a Monday, I'm definitely going to put in probably 2 or 3 hours of playing guitar, maybe some video games, maybe a visit to the gymnasium.
I've heard of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, it's kind of a boring answer, I guess, for me.
No, but I'm like Corey, I'm a teaching artist, so in the before times, generally I taught on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the same. I know we're boring because we're so excited to be home when we're home.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think our audience wants to hear that.
Yeah.
We don't know the inside scoop of what it's like to be a theater person.
That's when we're not flying off to wherever.
Yeah. This is assuming that we don't have the yacht that weekend.
Sure.
Right.
It's totally different if we have the boat.
And you bought that with your Keen Company paycheck, right?
Once you signed it, we were.
Yeah.
Hollywood keeps calling, and you're like, Hollywood, come down. I need a Monday off.
Yeah. Please wait till Monday.
Yeah. Okay, who do you think would win at theater trivia? Which one of you is like? You both had such definite answers.
100%.
Definitely.
Billy, let's give them one piece of theater trivia.
Oh,
let's see how they do.
I can't do this off the spot. No. They'll come back. We'll do a special theater trivia.
We need to do a trivia special.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Totally. This is not entirely theater trivia, but if people did ask, wanted to know the names of the
Theater row.
specifically, drinking.
Well, that's like That's vintage. That's vintage. It's not. Those theaters aren't there anymore.
It's a lot of money now.
They're not there anymore.
Well, they're not named that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They're all numbered.
Trivia. The Clermont.
No.
Yeah.
Look at my drinking vessel.
now.
You see
Cool.
Yes.
We don't have
the
a
old boy.
That was so sweet. So
Yeah.
for those of you following at home, A.R. Gurney, who was just like a joy to be around and in the process, and would come every so many nights and just sit in the back and laugh. Was so sweet and made those glasses for us.
He has a really fun. It was a really funny story.
Oh yeah, he couldn't come to closing because he had to be somewhere else, so he came a couple of days early before we closed or something. And I think that maybe. I guess we got these on opening night.
Yeah.
So we had these cocktail glasses, really nice tumblers backstage, and like Sunday night we maybe have a toast before we leave the building or something like that. So we all kept them in the building until closing. So the final night that Pete Gurney was able to come see us was a few nights before we closed. So we had a toast. I remember, Johnny, you were like, I spent a little too much money on this whiskey for this toast after the show tonight. And so we all pour, and we're looking around for a glass for Pete, and we can't find one. And I was like, you know what? I'll drink out of a Dixie cup or something, and I'll give him my tumbler so he can have the fancy glass. After all, he bought them for us. He deserves it. So, and it was kind of going along with this theme of A.R. Gurney plays, where that sort of WASP set and cocktail hour, and how parents would teach their children growing up in Buffalo in the 30s, like how to drink and how to do it socially. And it was important and da-da-da-da. And we had sort of talked about that as research for the play and everything. And sure enough, he
had to leave. He was like, I
had to let somebody into my apartment or something. I couldn't hang out for much longer after we did the exact toast. And I just offhandedly mentioned, I said, hey, Pete, I just want to say thanks so much for writing the show and for coming to see it and supporting the production and everything. And also thank you for these great cocktail glasses. In fact, the one that you're drinking yours out of is the one that you gave me.
Uh-huh.
He thought that I was saying, I got to go. Can you please finish your drink so that I can grab it?
You're like, come on, Gurney.
And I'm not kidding. I mean, he had like 4 fingers of whiskey in this glass. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, he chugged the whole thing.
I mean, how old was he at that point?
It was in his 80s, I believe.
His 80s.
I mean, he drank like many, many, many ounces of whiskey in about 5 seconds.
I was like, there you go.
And he goes, there you go. And jaw hit the floor. I mean, I was 33 or something then. I don't know how old. My metabolism was faster then than it is now. And I remember my jaw just dropped. Very cool. Very cool mic drop that Pete Gurney did for me.
That is incredible. Do you guys have favorite show? Now, you guys probably both get drugged to a lot of performances. Someone's involved in a show, and so the other one, of course, has to go support. Do you have any favorites? I'm not going to say least favorites. Do you have any favorites of those productions that you've been like, the other one has been involved in, that you're like, that was fun?
I mean, Joanna's done some cool stuff, so I've been proud to watch them. Some highlights. She was the PSM at Sweeney Todd.
Oh, yeah.
Street. I saw that.
Did you get a lot of pies?
Several times.
I brought you pies.
Yeah, not every time.
Sure. Sometimes we had extras. I'd bring them home for him after.
That's a perk.
Yeah.
Man's Visit was awesome.
I mean, Corey played the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, which is the cup that I'm drinking out of right now. For, as long as we've been together and before that. So I had never seen it growing up because I'm Jewish. But when I met Corey, I was like, great, now I can go.
Yeah, what a great excuse.
So that was pretty fun.
12 times that you've seen.
Yeah, I was going to ask how many.
Because you do like 1,000 performances in a week or something ridiculous.
About 100 a season. That's half the shows.
Right. He shares the chair with another bass player.
That's insane.
4 or 5 times at this point. And then he subbed at Oklahoma. And I want that
fun.
That was pretty awesome since he again was on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No lines.
Yeah,
No,
did you see any
but I
like, yeah.
it's fun to go see, and he subs at a lot of shows, but I most of the time can't see him. So Oklahoma was pretty special that I could like watch him play the whole time and really strategize where to sit, so I'd have the best view. But we've a lot of good ones, yeah.
Is that in your rider now, Corey? That you feel like you have got to be on stage?
Yeah.
With cowboy boots.
So what was better, the Oklahoma chili or the Sweeney Todd pies?
Great follow-up question.
I mean, I'm gonna go Sweeney Todd pies, but I have to say that.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to.
Mhm.
No, I mean, they were both pretty good.
It's a sweet or savory conundrum, I guess. That'd be a good meal, though.
Mm.
Like A.R. Gurney's whiskey, the Oklahoma chili, and the Sweeney Todd pies. Right.
I think that shows is more likely to be in my contracts going forward.
All food related. Yeah.
It's a nice perk.
Yeah.
Cary and Tess, I'm sure you guys have seen each other in a bunch of things.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what was that developmental? Was that Sundance Lab that you did in the Berkshires?
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest because, and it ended up becoming.
Yeah, first daughter suite at the Public.
Oh, great! Yeah.
But yeah, Sundance does a lab at Mass Mocha, and so you got to come.
And I got to come up, and it was cool because it was like, they're putting it's a developmental thing, so there's no performance or anything like that. So all the artists there and all the various different shows are really in the thicket of conceptualizing the first draft of a show. It's a very exciting atmosphere to be around, very exciting community, and you're all like in a winter trapped B&B in the Berkshires.
Yeah.
And so everyone is busy all day long rehearsing, and and then at night everyone gets down, they're playing Scrabble and taking notes and having a cocktail in this really beautiful thing. So of course I came up and got to spend several days there hanging out in this beautiful place, and then I got to see one of the very first and I remember that one specifically just because the environs were so pretty, and it was also really neat to see, just to have conversations with composers and be like, what's your struggle today? Tell me about it, and get to hear all that kind of thing was really, it was just neat to see it from the ground up that early.
It feels like the modern version of White Christmas, where there's just like an inn and a barn and they're put on a show.
Totally. That's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, and you're doing it at the museum, like you rehearse all day at the museum, but it's very like, like we all like walk across the street and then you come back and you all have dinner together, and it's very like, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
I would love that sequel where it's just Bing Crosby in a barn putting on First Daughter Suite.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I always get excited to see Cary and things. It's fun. This is like a random one. I think I mainly loved it because of the costumes, but he was in a Sherlock Holmes play.
I played the Russian guy, and you think maybe
he played like a Russian prince, and he was like in like these beautiful tuxedos, and like
they made me a velvet smoking jacket by hand. And when at the end of that show I asked, "Hey, I'd love to buy the smoking jacket," and before I could finish the sentence with, "So how much would that cost?" I say, "Hey, I would love to buy that smoking jacket," and the costume shop manager goes, "Oh, sweetheart, you can't afford it." She was like, "I'd have to charge you by the hour." Do you know how many hours and how many people it took to build that thing? We're talking like $1,000. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe next year. Maybe.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you also jealous you didn't get to jump on stage and do the understudy rehearsal for that one too, Tess? You just pick a part from every show and you're like, okay, well, that would be my track. Yeah.
I love an understudy rehearsal. I feel like I shine in understudy rehearsals. Yeah.
So should we move to the game portion of our evening?
Yeah, let's do it. Yes, the Keen Bowl, the famous Keen Company Bowl.
Keen bowl. That's not at all just the mixing bowl. That's, I don't know what you guys think.
I think we do.
Okay, so as everyone knows, as our millions of listeners know, that every episode we have the Keen Question Bowl, where we just randomly pick out questions and they're getting to know you, sort of like fun tidbit questions. But we thought it would be fun if we played sort of a boys versus girls version of this, where you have to guess what your partner would say. Answer the question. So let's see. I'm going to pick a question randomly. Okay. So let's start with the gentleman. What do you think your person's favorite drink is? No hints, ladies. Although clearly they're all going to be drunk out of show-specific glasses. Now it can be broadly interpreted. Should we narrow it down? Should it be cocktail? Should it be?
No, I think I have my answer.
Okay.
As do I.
Okay. All right.
Do you have your answer?
Do the ladies know their answers?
I do.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Now we're just going to trust that there's no cheating here.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I would say it's between tea and seltzer, but I would pick seltzer as Tess's.
That's number one.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true? He got it.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, well done.
Yes.
Hey, good job. Good job.
Now, are you a flavored seltzer girl or just like regular seltzer?
I like a flavored.
As long as it's not orange flavored.
There's been some discussions about
Lemon, lime, raspberry, cranberry, plain, all this is good. Just don't get mandarin orange, please.
Fair.
Exactly.
You have a limit.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
What do you think, Corey? What's Joanna's favorite drink?
So on a regular basis, I would say apple juice, and then our special sparkling cider.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Hey, well done.
Lord, look at that.
This special occasion is just like carbonated version of the first one.
Yes, a slightly fancier, more elevated version.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
Cider is up there for me.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Great. Yeah.
Good job, boys.
This is the season for apple cider, I feel like.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
We had them yesterday.
We did Super Bowl cider.
It's a classic.
Thematic. Okay, ladies. Now here's one for you guys. Picking it at random. We have not seen these questions beforehand. There's nothing being rigged. Okay. Ladies, do you think your person is an early bird or a night owl?
I don't think I know.
You know? Okay, what's your definition?
Corey is a night owl.
Really? 100%?
He is. I am not, but he is not an early bird. It is. Woo! No. I agree with that.
Is that true?
Absolutely. And it's difficult with the teaching early in the morning and when it was happening, performing at night. It was
brutal.
The challenge.
Yeah.
Like, Corey, if you didn't set an alarm, what time would you wake up?
Double digits.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, sure.
But easily, no.
Your length of day is still the same. You're staying up late.
Exactly.
If I often won't let us stay up late. So it's a we balance it.
Yeah, it's really not a problem.
Right now it's not a problem because when you're teaching it is, but when he's not teaching and right now we're not doing anything else, so we can get plenty of hours.
Yeah, plenty of time to sleep.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Cary and Tess? Tess, what do you think?
We're the exact opposite of that. He is a very early bird.
Really?
Always has been. It's gotten earlier as we've been in our relationship. But he's like, bing, like 7 a.m., 7:30, and he's awake. And he gets up and he like does his thing. And yeah, now it's getting it's like early.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
And he's like, you, Joanna, where he's like, lights need to be out by 11.
Yeah.
It's 10:15. I'm gonna start turning on.
Yeah.
And
we're really blowing through the first couple hours of sleep here.
And I could definitely sleep into double digits, no problem.
You're the only person I know who says that you've woken up earlier during this sort of pandemic time. You just keep getting earlier and earlier.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's quite strange. I mean, you know what it is? It's probably when you're in a show and I think that this is a thing that happens. This is anecdotal, of course, but when you're in the run of a show, you get, you're like, your internal clock just sort of adjusts to where you are at your most energetic and most focused between like 7:30 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly when I need to start focusing and warming up my voice and my body for the show, sort of get into this thing. And then it takes a while to like come down after the show, you know? You have the subway ride to sort of start that process, come home, have a cocktail, watch an episode of something, and by midnight you're falling asleep. Well, I'm not going to wake up at like 6 a.m. after that. But
Yeah.
I think during COVID, when there hasn't been any shows at night, I've just become more circadian in my sleep rhythms or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, Cary.
Yeah. Thank you. It feels good to not be alone.
I wish I was. I think it's amazing.
I'm team late night.
Yeah.
I've been setting my alarm for most of this pandemic for 8:41 every morning, just
Like
because
who won?
because it's a 9-minute snooze, and then I'm actually.
I'm sorry, I forgot we were talking to stage managers, and you've worked out the break.
Yeah. But I had this thought like early after like a couple months. I was like, because I'm so good at sleeping in. I mean, I'm a great.
She's
sleeper.
great at it.
And I was like, what if I get like what's gonna happen when we have to go back to work and I'll never be able to wake up, or like I'll be stuck and I won't be able. So now I've just been I just set my alarm every morning, and some mornings I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to be working for months. More
9-minute snoozes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. I think we're back to the boys. Boys, do you think that the ladies would like to teleport or fly? Teleport is like bing bing. Flying is like a journey.
I think teleport.
Where would I want to teleport to?
Disney World.
Thank you. We'll just add that on.
You had a location in mind too.
Yes, always.
Do you agree that you would teleport?
I would teleport.
You would teleport, Joanna.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
And you would go to Disney World, which I love as a magician.
The journey sounds exciting, but I'd rather it just be instant.
I was going to say she's more of a experience versus the journey.
Yeah. You want to just get there and do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Would you teleport right to the like hotel, or do you want to be like in line for Magic Mountain?
She wants to be like on the ride.
Yeah, I think I just teleport to a park for sure.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is your favorite park, Joanna?
I am a rare, I think, Animal Kingdom fan.
Wow, that is not
big
rare.
fan. I'm a stage manager. Big fan of Festival of the Lion King. Big fan of Finding Nemo the musical. And my favorite ride is Flight of Passage. So
you went the park with the most theatrical experiences.
They have the best. It's the best shows. It's just I'd like someone to fight me on that. That the best live entertainment outside of like the castle show at Magic Kingdom, which of course can't really top that. But as a park as a whole, that is my answer.
I will do that solely for Finding Nemo the musical. Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. No one will at you. We won't share your Twitter, so they'll come after you. The Disney folks.
I've never been to the Animal Kingdom.
I know it's underrated. I really think it's great. Right now, I wouldn't say go because all of that is not happening.
I mean, if you could teleport, don't do it.
Not right now, but when they come back, then yeah.
Teleport them. I think I would say the same for Tess, because as much as I would pick fly, I would like to be able to fly. I think that would be cooler than teleporting. It would be more fun. But I think that for Tess, I think she would choose teleporting because pretty much every day, you know, couples talk to each other and they're both like looking down at their phone and they'll have a conversation without really looking up at each other.
Yeah.
They're the first half of that conversation once or twice per day is Tess getting what's it called? The flights.
I know. I always call
Rick's
it
cheap
tricks, but it's
flight.
Scott's cheap flights.
Scott's cheap, whatever. So literally, like today, for example, was $587 nonstop to Bangkok. You know,
why not?
So she'd be throwing out these like opportunities for us to go traveling constantly. I think if she could teleport, it would be like, boom, we're in Bangkok.
Yeah,
we're hanging out with YouTube sensation Mark Weens and eating some food in Thailand, and we're all very happy.
I don't know, Rick.
It'd be really cold to fly.
That's true too.
I get coldy.
Yeah,
far on my room, but
I like the very practical idea that you would get cold.
So no one in these couples has talked about teleporting before.
Actually, no. This is our first time.
Oh,
I feel
interesting.
like maybe we've talked about that.
That didn't come up. Was it in your vows?
Huh.
Oh yeah, it didn't come up during our wedding.
Maybe we'll include it in our.
Yeah,
yeah, you guys can make up for it.
There was something missing.
Okay, this is one for the ladies to answer about your gentleman. what is their like jam? They're belting in the shower, like total favorite song, like rock out song. The more embarrassing, the better. We won't ask you to sing any.
It's Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
Hands down, and I feel like I might sing the whole catalog, but I'm gonna go with Hummer.
It's a great song.
No.
Is that the first thing that came to mind, Cary?
Yeah, I put that song on a mixtape that I made for while we were doing the Old Boy. Actually,
That's true.
So she has the
or like 1979, because it's like so easy to sing in the shower. But what would be the song you would sing in the shower?
It's kind of a trick question because I hate singing.
Oh.
So I don't know why. I'm not very good at it.
It's probably what it probably is like Scarlatti.
Yeah.
He's probably having I don't know if that's the same for you, Corey. He didn't do that.
Corey's not really a singer.
Sure.
He really doesn't, but I would say we're big Frozen 2 fans.
Oh, great answer.
And so Lost in the Woods tends to be like always something one of us is singing. So I feel like that.
We kind of circulate
All of
songs
them?
for like weeks at a time. Just
I like the avenue of just the song that will get stuck in your head the most is probably the song you're going to sing in the shower.
Yeah, right. So that would be my answer, followed by Beatles music. But I think Frozen 2 has been the theme of this past year.
These days.
Yeah.
Now, we know, Joanna, yours is going to be whatever Celine Dion song is your favorite song.
I mean, right. You're not wrong. Although when Corey sings Frozen 2, then I sing Frozen. It just is like, it's just in the house. But yes, if I am on Instagram and scrolling, Celine comes on and it's just that little clip, then both of us are then that's what we're singing the rest of the day. So
I like that you've painted a picture in which you follow enough Celine Dion accounts that it could just come up at any moment.
It is correct. It is unlikely I'm going to go into Instagram and be looking at stories and we're not going to hear a Celine Dion clip.
Right.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
We're seeing right here, she has a reputation, so people send her things.
Oh, yeah.
With Celine Dion.
It's not.
It is well known in the entire theater community.
It's
Joanna's love for
you know what? I own it. I own it. And
I love Celine. I mean, who doesn't love Celine?
Well, yeah, and it's like she can sure sing. I mean,
Wow.
gosh.
No one can doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, she's an amazing singer.
we were at right before everything shut down. What,
Like March 9th.
8th or 9th? We were at a Celine Dion concert in Newark, and it was just on the cusp of like we pulling into the parking lot. Should we be here? I don't know. And I'm thinking to myself, if things are about to change, like the last thing I want to do is I need to have been at. I want to if this concert is happening, and she literally the next day canceled all her shows.
Wow.
Oh, thank God.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
I mean, I'm sure many people, I'm sure it was a spreader event for sure. We fortunately did not, but
Love.
what?
It was a super
Of love and love of Celine. So yeah, fun fact.
That's like a Keen process. It was a love super spreader. Okay, last Keen Bowl question, I think. This is for the group. Which Golden Girl would everyone choose to be as their like personification? Now,
saying which the partner would be.
yes. Now, Johnny and Billy, can you run us through the like Golden Girl types? Give us the archetypes.
Well, I thought you'd never ask. There is B. Arthur, who is, she is Dorothy. She is a little, stern and a little no nonsense, but always got those good zingers. We got Blanche, who is the harlot of the group, sort of knows how to have a good time. We have Rose, who is sort of just like loving and happy and having a good time. Little, not the brightest bulb in the candelabra, but we love her for it. And then, of course, we have Sophia, who is the old, no nonsense, hilarious Italian grandmother. So I hope that helps.
Well done. Well done.
I can run through all the guest stars from all 7 seasons if you want.
What do you
So-
guys think? What are your first instincts?
I've literally never seen
I'm ashamed to admit we're
anything.
That's
we
fair.
are.
Wow.
I know.
But we can just go with Billy's descriptions and use those.
I feel ashamed.
Yeah. We'll
We'll
fix that.
I almost
We'll watch
want.
something.
I would love the Golden Girls experts to
Yeah.
That's
tell
what I
us.
was gonna say. Johnny, you should
Oh yeah, you guys should be dispensing these.
pass.
Yeah, what do you
Please
guys
tell me.
You're Rose.
I'm Rose.
You're right.
Charlotte.
No, the Hufflepuff.
I
Fair.
actually don't think it's one's place to judge somebody else on their golden girl. You know, that's
It's a
something
pretty
that you
sensitive discussion.
have to do a
Yeah.
lot of soul
I
searching.
think I'm a Dorothy, and I feel like Joanna were similar. I feel like you're
Like I
probably,
do whatever Tess is.
That's fair.
she's like, you know, she's
That's
kind of running things, and she's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like-
Great.
Now I liked that you had Hufflepuff right at your disposal, though. Do you guys all know your Harry Potter houses?
Of course.
Yes.
No, that's more in our house.
That's
Yeah.
clear. What are your Joanna and Corey? What are your Hufflepuff?
Gryffindor.
Okay, sure.
You've taken the quiz.
I have.
Well.
I probably manipulated it so that I would be Gryffindor because
Mhm.
that's the one.
That's
don't know.
fair.
Ravenclaw sounds cool.
Yeah. I would say Corey is a little bit of a Ravenclaw.
That makes sense.
Ravenclaw
That's cool.
for me.
I don't understand astrology, but you can be like one house and another house rising. I've decided.
Uh,
Just use
Yeah,
the
that
same
makes more sense to me because I feel like I'm a bit of a mashup of like two houses or maybe even three.
I feel like
I mean, I think the point is that everyone has a little of all of them in them.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. What do you like?
I don't know. I lean
You always
really
say
hard
something.
Hufflepuff. I really do. I'm just like, I could just be down there planting some plants while you guys go fight the dragon. That's fine. And you're gonna come back and you're going to need a poultice for your wounds. And turns out that's what I was working on just today.
Perfect.
The basement and the garden.
You rise with the plants at 6 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just out here watering the plants with my wand. What are you guys doing? Nice existence for me.
Tess, which house would you be in?
Ravenclaw, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Pottermore
Pottermore.
is. Yeah. Yeah. I
Well,
think-
Billy, Johnny, and I are all Slytherin. That's
wow.
That's why we get along so well. I am Slytherin. I did take the tests.
And you're Slytherin. That is wrong.
What is
Yeah, well,
what is the
I actually don't know Harry Potter that well.
You're
So
ambitious,
yeah,
and you're
Can talk to snakes.
yeah.
I always thought that was weird.
oh.
Well, y'all, it was so good to have you on tonight. You're both just both you couples. All of you are just such lights and such wonderful people, and I'm so glad that you found each other and that Keen could play a small part in bringing together such great people.
They sure did.
Well, I say you played a starring role.
Ah!
He said about our relationship, Johnny just had to sprinkle a little fairy dust.
Agreed.
Well, I'm so glad I did, and just wishing you all the best and good health and good things throughout the rest of this crazy, crazy year.
Aw.
To y'all too.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you guys.
Happy
Bye, guys.
We'll see you soon.
I can't wait to be back in a rehearsal room with all of those people again.
Truly.
Then we'll
a-
finally figure out this Golden Girls situation.
Right. You know, thank God I have the Golden Girls because I don't know anything about Harry Potter, so it's always nice to to funnel that energy into that instead.
Great.
Yeah.
Billy, you can choose everyone's Golden Girl. I'll choose Harry Potter houses. Johnny, you need to pick a franchise, and you can be the expert.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. I think I can do that.
You really like Fast and the Furious, right, Johnny?
Oh, yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah, totally.
Johnny, you should pick everyone's Peanuts character. You're Snoopy, obviously.
Actually, that would be a good. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Great.
All
That
right.
is
Good.
fair.
Good.
What a lovely Monday. It's wonderful as always to spend it with you guys and to spend it with our keen community.
Yes. So delightful. And as we mentioned before, there's no Keen After Hours next week, but we do have our special all-star benefit broadcast of Sorry Wrong Number, starring Marsha Mason at 7 o'clock, right?
That's
7
right.
o'clock on the, you can get your tickets at keencompany.org, and it's going to be really amazing. We have songs, stories, and suspense. What more could you ask for?
And let me just say, this cast is insane. Marsha Mason, Matt Saldivar, Jasmine Johnson, Chuck Cooper. It's just insane. And
Heidi
then,
Armbruster.
oh my gosh, how can I forget Heidi Armbruster? And Heidi Armbruster, who's, by the way, everyone, is a 4-time Keen Company alum.
Yep.
Boom.
It's going to be a really fun night. We've got some extra special guests who are going to be singing beforehand, which we'll announce very soon. And yeah, I hope you'll join us.
We'll see you next week.
Well, as we always say, we look forward to seeing you at the virtual theater soon. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye-bye.